I might upset a few people when I say this, but I think that the Manhattan cocktail is a little bit overrated. Don't get me wrong, it's a great drink, but out of the cocktails named after New York City boroughs, I think that the Brooklyn is way superior. If cocktail history isn't your thing, just click the chapters in the description below the video. During the early 1900s, everybody was trying to come up with a Brooklyn cocktail to compete with the very popular Manhattan cocktail. But most of the recipes from back then are nowhere near the recipe that we use today. However, I managed to find this recipe in a 1914 book called Drinks, and it's pretty much exactly the recipe that we use today. So for the ingredients, we're gonna use rye whiskey, just like in a Manhattan, Maraschino Liqueur, and Maraschino Liqueur is made from Maraschino cherries, and it's almost more so nutty in flavor, and it's used in a lot of classic cocktails, so it's a good bottle to have at home. Dry vermouth, and something called Amer Picon. And Amer Picon is what I want to talk about today. Amer means bitter in French, just like Amaro means bitter in Italian, and it is the equivalent of an Amaro, which means it's a bittersweet liqueur. A lot of people will say that they can't make a Brooklyn because they don't have Amer Picon. I used to be one of those people a long time ago, and simply because I didn't know what Amer Picon was. Now that I do, I understand that you can substitute it for something else that is similar. It's a bittersweet liqueur with strong notes of orange. You can do what one of my fellow YouTubers did. He used an Amaro and added orange bitters to it, which I think is a great idea. Or you can also find another Amer, which is what I have right here. Quina Quina is an Amer, and from what I understand, the recipe is very similar to the original Amer Picon. It has strong notes of orange, and it's also higher in alcohol. This Quina Quina is 40% ABV, and the original Amer Picon was 39% ABV. So there you go. Well, enough talking. Let's make this drink. I'm gonna start with half an ounce of my Quina Quina. Quarter ounce of Maraschino Liqueur. Half an ounce of dry vermouth. And 2 ounces of your rye whiskey. Now get ice for your mixing glass. This cocktail is going to be served up, which means we have to stir it for long enough for it to be chilled and diluted enough. Feel free to straw taste it at any time to make sure that it's where you want it to be. Get your chilled glassware. You can garnish this however you like, maybe with just an orange twist or just a cherry, because we have both of those components in the cocktail. But I'm gonna do a little bit of both here with a little twist and a maraschino cherry. All right, let's give it a try. This to me is just so much more complex than a regular Manhattan. You get the bitter orange from the Quina Quina, the nuttiness from the maraschino, which to me is it just makes it a lot more interesting. To tie back to what I was saying in the beginning of the video about the Manhattan, I think the reason for it being so widely popular is partially because it's fairly easy to make and it uses very attainable ingredients. And you can walk into pretty much any bar in the world and ask for a Manhattan and they'll make you one. Not saying that all of them will be great, but at least they'll know what it is. Time to wrap this party up. My name is Johan, you guys are awesome, and I'll see you next Friday. Skål!